All right, you know that feeling at work, right? You've got pressure coming down from the top, you've got demands coming up from your team, and then you have all your peers all doing their own thing right next to you. It's like you're absolutely essential, but man, you are surrounded. So let's talk about how to flip that script and turn all that pressure into some real power.
So, does that sound familiar? This feeling of being squeezed? Look, if it does, you are so not alone. This is pretty much the defining experience for a massive part of the workforce, and it doesn't even matter if you have the word manager in your title.
You know, the source material we're digging into today has a couple of really great analogies for this. Think about it. Maybe you feel like that middle lineman on a football team. You're totally sandwiched, yeah? But you're also the one who's vital to making the whole play work. Or hey, maybe you're more like that one yellow fish in a chaotic aquarium, just trying to swim with some purpose while everything else is just zipping all around you.
Well, this feeling actually has a name. It's called the middle leadership squeeze. And yeah, it's a totally universal challenge for sure. But what if I told you it's also a universal opportunity?
And right here, this is the core idea, the big reframe we're going to explore. On one hand, you can see your position as being stuck, right? Just caught between all these different forces. Or you can see it as being central. And that gives you this totally unique vantage point to see the whole organization in a way that, frankly, nobody else can.
Okay, so let's dig into that. Why is being central actually way more powerful than you might think? Let's see what the research has to say about it.
Okay, get this. A survey from the Boston Consulting Group found something that might blow your mind. Almost 2/3, 65% of executives see middle managers as more vital to success than even the top managers. Yeah, you heard that right. More vital. I mean, that completely flips the script on who we think holds the keys to making a company successful.
Now, of course, that doesn't mean it's easy, not at all. And the source material really gets into the struggle, laying out these 5 core challenges. You've got the self-identity thing, that fatigue from switching roles all day long. Then there's the conflict. You're always caught between what your boss wants and what your team needs. There's this sense of omnipotence, where everyone expects you to be the ultimate fixer for everything. And all of that leads to a very, very real physical and emotional toll.
And that toll is incredibly real. A Columbia University study actually put numbers to it. 18% of managers deal with depression. 51%, I mean that's more than half, are constantly worried, and 43% feel an excessive amount of pressure. So these aren't just, bad days. These are significant, data-backed burdens.
Okay, so we know the challenges are real, but we also know the opportunity is huge. So how do you make that shift? How do you go from just surviving to actually thriving? Well, it all starts with a new mindset and a practical toolkit. Let's get into it.
The foundational mindset shift is something the source calls others-oriented leadership. And it's pretty simple, really. It just means you stop focusing so much on your own ego, your own needs, and you start focusing on the entire ecosystem around you. We're talking your team, your peers, your boss, even your customers. The goal becomes helping all of them thrive.
You know, there's this quote from Mary Kay Ash that just nails the spirit of this mindset. It's pretend everyone has a sign around their neck saying, "Make me feel important." Seriously, if you just operate from that one simple principle, your actions and your impact will completely change for the better.
And here is a super concrete tool to put that mindset into practice. When you have to get feedback, use what's called the shares model. It takes what can be a really difficult conversation and turns it into something constructive, supportive, and with a clear path forward. The whole point is to build people up, right? Not tear them down. All right, so with that mindset and a tool like that in your back pocket, you can start applying it strategically. Because let's face it, leading from the middle means you've got to lead effectively in every direction, up, down, and across.
So when it comes to leading up, managing your boss, the absolute game-changing tip is this. Bring solutions, not just problems. Always. Be the person who has already thought through the issue, who can lay out a few thoughtful options. That's what makes you an invaluable strategic partner, not just another task doer.
Okay, now for leading down with your team. Your role here is to guide, not to prescribe. A great rule of thumb, listen 80% of the time and talk 20%. Look, your job isn't to have all the answers. It's to help them find their own. That's how you build real capability and true ownership on your team.
And finally, leading across with your peers. I want you to remember this really profound truth. There's no neutral ground here. Every single interaction you have with them either builds trust or it erodes it. There's no in between. So you have to be intentional about building those bridges.
So look, when you put all of this together, when you make that reframe from feeling stuck to knowing you're central, and you develop the skills to lead in every single direction, your true impact starts to become crystal clear.
Let's be absolutely clear. You are not just some simple conduit passing messages up and down the chain. No, you are the critical hub. You're where innovation gets sparked. You're where the real company culture gets built. And you are where strategy actually becomes reality. You are the engine of execution.
And so all of this leaves us with one final big question for you. Knowing what you know now, that you are central, that you have this unique power to connect and to influence, how are you going to choose to leverage that power? How are you going to create profound success for yourself, for your team, and for your whole organization, starting right now?